Thank you everyone for being here. I am so excited today about this session. I am sorry you have to see a little bit of my sleepy face because it's a little early for me, but I don't mind. Like I got up with so much excitement and so much happiness about this session. It was like, I really looked forward when Rachel Chamness stepped forward, volunteered to be here with us and share the session with us. I was like, oh my God, are you serious? This is so perfect. I was really excited then. I'm really excited now. And Rachel Chamness is a psychic mentor and so much more. She works with sound healing. She works with deep meditation. She has this work of the past life school for light workers, where we're going to talk about Avalon-Atlantis Isis Temple connection, which is just perfect because all the signs have been coming for me to talk about these things. So it's like, what better than have an expert to come and share with us. And so without further introduction, I'm just gonna give you the mics and let you just go into it, because we spent some minutes trying to figure out the Zoom thing. But anything else we have to figure out, I'm going to be right here. If you see me looking at things, I'm just trying to figure out. I'm going to be on the phone too, just looking to see if there are any questions in the Facebook chat.
Okay.
Because we're going to open questions for them too. Okay, and anybody who wants to come into the Zoom room, I'm also going to link the Zoom room right on the Facebook event, so that, or on the Facebook on this live, I'm going to put the Zoom link behind or under, so that if you want to share with us the Zoom link, you can come in. Okay. Thank you for being here, Rachel, and the space is all yours.
Okay. Well, welcome. Thanks so much for coming. And I'm really excited, Kayla, that you're here on the Zoom. And anybody else who wants to come on the Zoom, I'd love to have you here. Any questions you have. So my name's Rachel Chamness, and I'm at soundwavesheal.com. I'm a liquid Reiki sound healer, and I'm also a psychic guide and mentor. I help people expand their psychic connections, and so you can really bring through a lot of psychic healing from different beings of light, and also how to bring forth messages. So I teach a lot of classes. I have a Lightworkers group called TAG, Transformation Ascension Group, and I also do sessions one-on-one. So that's who I am. Thank you. And today I wanted to talk about Avalon. So this connection between Avalon, Atlantis, and what I believe is a school for lightworkers in a past life that we were all at. I'm pretty sure all of us, but use your discretion if you feel like you were there. That we went to learn how to be a light worker in this life. And there's a lot to it. I talk about it a lot in my Transformation Ascension group, TAG, and we have talked to all kinds of beings from there. But so there's so much to say, but let's see. So I'm also going to be channeling. I'm going to be telling you what I know, and as I talk often, then I get more information because I am a trance channel, and so which just means full body channeling. But they'll probably be talking to me and giving me words while I'm talking as well. So I do want you to know that I did create a sacred circle for us today in this class for protection and just healing. But I put us in a capsule of space surrounded by the 4 archangels in the 4 corners and archangels above and below, and also in the ascended waters of Gaia. So you'll really feel that I guess that vibration of being in that space. However, I do have a cat who likely will interrupt us at some point. Hopefully she will stay content outside. Okay, so what is Avalon? Well, a lot of us know Avalon for, King Arthur and that whole story. And that's also one place that Avalon is in this Celtic arena. But it is also a place in Atlantis. And as I'm starting to talk about this, I'm already getting like shaky, meaning I think I'm gonna get some new information, which is always so fun. So when we were in Atlantis, and all of us were, because everyone in this life has been in Atlantis. We all have an Atlantis past life. In fact, I think that it's so important that we connect to our Atlantis past lives, because it can be really triggering in these times as we're going towards ascension and as it feels like the world is just like going to hell around us. And we're trying to find the highest timeline of ourselves, meaning that just our highest timeline would be like everything that we choose is not the right choice, because every choice that we make is going to be right and wrong and still get us in the same place, but is the most fortuitous choice, like the luckiest choice, like everything that we want and desire, we're getting there faster because we're on this high timeline, right? And so as we're wanting that, and as we're looking for that, we also look around and see like, wow, a lot of crazy stuff has been happening in Earth lately, and that can be really triggering because of our past life in Atlantis. So it's really important to connect to that, or at least have it cleared, that past life, so it doesn't affect us and make us very anxious in these times. And that is where a lot of anxiety comes from. But anyway, back to Atlantis. When we were there, some of us were also in Avalon. So Avalon is beyond the veil, and it's beyond the veil in several places, but in one place where it's always been beyond the veil and still is in Atlantis. And it's very hard to explain this in 3D terms, but I'm going to give you my best. And that is that even though Atlantis is gone, it is still there in some time and space, because there really is no such thing as time. We live in a third dimensional density where we experience time, but no one else does. That's in a higher dimension or density. So it's still like an imprint, like it's still there. And when you go through Atlantis, which we will do, we are going to do an Atlantis Avalon meditation when I finish explaining this to you. When you go through it, you can find the Avalon veil. And then if you go through the veil, Avalon is there, and it is still there. And as I said, Avalon's in many places. But this Avalon, what I see when I go through is I see druids, priestesses, I see Merlin, some other, ascended beings, Thoth, Yeshua, the Christ light, and Our Lady, who I'm going to talk about. So when we go through there, and in this meditation we're going to do, what I have seen is this beautiful Isis temple. And the way that it looks, it's so amazing. I wish I could draw what I see, is that it's a beautiful, tall building. It's really like a temple, and it's shaped like a rose, but all the panels at the top are glass. And so it's like a glass bud of a rose is the way it's shaped, which I didn't see for a long time of going back there. But it's really beautiful inside. It's very, it feels very reverent inside. And the one who really helps us, hi Pam, the one who really helps us there in this temple is named Our Lady. And you will know her by many names. And we're just going to take religion out of this if you know her by a religious name. This has nothing to do with like Catholicism or Our Lady of Catholicism. This is a being who is humble enough to just go by Our Lady. And she's not actually really a goddess. She's more like a divine part of Mother God. And even that, she doesn't like that. She's so very humble that she doesn't want any of that. But we may know her by her earthly name of Mary Magdalene. You may know her by goddess names, or, we consider Mary Magdalene a sort of goddess in other incarnations. But this would be like the highest self of all these incarnations, and she just goes by Our Lady. And the symbol of this temple is a rose. It's a light pink rose, and it has a lot to do with love. Of course, everything has to do with love, right? And in this place is where she taught many of us in this incarnation path of Atlantis in the Avalon space how to be light workers in this life. And how did she teach us? Well, there were many ways that she did. We did some exercises where we I don't even know what the word for this is, because she just shows me that we would almost like possess her, like in a high vibrational way. And like we would switch souls and bodies. Of course, these are higher dimensional bodies, so it's probably easier to do. And then instead of her leading the priestesses, we would do it as her. Like we would practice each part of being a priestess. We would all practice all these things. And we were all female in this life. So even if you're male and you're watching this, that doesn't mean you weren't there. You're just female in this life. So we were all priestesses, high priestesses, and she was teaching us. And another really important exercise that I see is us lying, which looks like in meditation, and we are learning how to live through love in a very hard place. So let me know if this sounds familiar. This is exactly what our earthly incarnation is. Us trying to find love in a third dimensional density where we don't have any proof of all of our spirit guides and helpers, all the beings that are part of our soul. We are connected to in such a strong way, and they are there for us. We don't have any proof of any of that. We have to go on faith. We have to figure out that love is always the answer, and resistance and fear and things like that will never get us anywhere. We have to figure out that, even though we live in this place that's very difficult, where we have to fight just to live, where we have to work just to have basic necessities that should be our right, even though we have all these hard things and we've chosen to come to this life where we learn by trauma, which is like, why? But anyway, it's difficult. And so how can we find love through there? Not only find love for ourselves, which is so important and is part of the symbol of the pink rose, but for others. Because when you truly can love yourself, then you can love everybody. And it's really other people's reflection on you that you don't love, when it reminds you of something of yourself, as we all know. So the question is, are we still there? Are we still there in meditation? And this life is just that meditation. We know that we're here, just part of our spirit, not even our whole higher self, not even our whole spirit's in these bodies. Could we still be in that place? Is it our higher self in that place? Is it an incarnation of us in that place? Well, I get that it is an incarnation of us, not exactly our whole higher self, but in these higher dimensional frequencies, when we are fifth dimension and above, we can really access all of our past lives, access our higher self, and our bodies aren't so dense. We're more like light beings, so it is different. But that's what I get, and that this exercise of being human is just an exercise. It's just something that we are putting ourselves through to test ourselves. How can we find it? How can we find this love? How can we help others? How can we find our light path? We all come here with a light path, which is your soul's path, or what you're supposed to do in this life, that lights you up and helps other people as well. And so I believe that we're still there. And I want to take you through an exercise there. I do want to mention one other thing, is the crystal mermaids. And there are also these 8 crystal mermaids from Atlantis from this time. And I've talked to them several times. They guard the sacred crystals, which hold the power of the central sun. And they actually are in many places at once. They're in hollow earth. There they take all this energy from earth and they transmute it into a much higher frequency. And they're holding on to it. They'll be the ones to release it when we get onto a higher plane or higher vibration. We come closer to ascension. They'll be bringing it to us. So I talked to many mermaids. Of course, mermaids and other mystical creatures are actually real. They exist in a higher frequency, and they're more like spirit guides. And the mermaids are actually still there, waiting for us to ascend. And so these beings, this is just a cartoon picture, but these are my cards, which are Elemental Magic and Manifestation Oracle cards. And this is one of the cartoon pictures of the crystal mermaids. They're so beautiful.
Wow, that is so beautiful. Is this
like
your own deck? You made this deck?
Yeah, you can buy it on Amazon.
Wow.
You
Oh
can
my
find it on my site. Yeah.
Wow, beautiful.
These are great cards for channeling too, and they also
Thank you
help
for
you.
sharing. It looks very great.
Thank you. They also answer a lot of questions. They're great for questions. Speaking of questions, are there any questions? Or is anyone awake? And thank you for meeting me so early. I have a full day here. Okay, so now I would like to bring you through a meditation. In this meditation, I'm also going to attune you to your Avalon memories. So the way that I attune people is with my voice. I'm a liquid Reiki shamanic sound healer, and this is, I do teach everything that I do in all my classes, but I was an opera singer, so, you know, I have that going for me when I sing. I'm just telling you. That part I don't teach people to sing, but I do attune people to light language where you can bring forth sounds that you never thought you could, that's for sure. And you might suddenly sound like you've been taking voice lessons all your life. Okay, are you guys ready? You ready for meditation? I want to tell you too that I've heard reports of this meditation opening up light language and opening up other gifts in people when they do it. This is a meditation that we do in TAG, and it's in the archives of TAG. We have 60 programs that have like 10 to 30 videos in it. And so TAG is just a big mystery school and connections, and it's for advanced light workers, but there's also a beginner program in it. And this is called the Avalon Highest Timeline Meditation. I'm going to play some music, and I do have the rights for it, Facebook. It's called Rose Quartz by Josh Bergen. And I will need your help a little bit to tell me is my voice and this music coming through? Is it good? It's not too loud or anything? Okay.
I think it's perfect. It's not too loud, the music, and we can hear your voice very good. From
Okay,
Pam,
good.
she also says all good.
Okay, good. If it gets loud or something, so just wave at me. Okay. So welcome to this channeled meditation for the highest timeline with the druids and priestesses of Avalon. This is from TAG, like I said, and I channeled it before, but I'm gonna recreate it for you. So in this meditation, the druids and priestesses of Avalon bring us to observe ancient ritual, building a high and protective psychic barrier for yourself, and they guide you to a higher timeline on this earthly life that you are living. What that means is that you can choose to have the most abundant and beautiful life that you wish. It's anything you wish for, this higher timeline, by choosing the timeline that benefits you and those you love the most for the greatest good for yourself and all. And so one thing that I always say, and I think that it's very important to say, is I only work with beings of the highest light. I only work with beings of the highest light. I say it every day. All right, so if you're getting in a comfortable position, if you have trouble with meditation, then make sure you're leaning against a chair or the floor, and that will help you very much. We're going to start with the attunement. I'm going to attune you to a portal that connects you from this life to that life to help with your memories. And I'm also going to attune you to your Akashic records in Avalon to help connect you to a druid or priestess from that time. And there is a whole program, it's actually 2 programs on Avalon in TAG. If this really calls to you, then I think you're probably perfect for TAG. Okay, here we go. Let's attune you. All right, now we're going to call in our archangels and elements. Beginning in the south, we call in Archangel Michael with his flaming sword of truth and protection, his sapphire blue light and the element of fire, bringing in this beautiful light all around our body. We ask him to use his sword to cut all cords, to release all stories and attachments, to clear us completely and stand in our south corner for protection and transmutation of all lower frequency energies to love. We're calling in only the highest light and the highest light beings. And we call in Archangel Michael's tools and his protection teams to help us in this meditation to achieve what is for the highest good and the good of all. Then we would like to call in the north, Archangel Uriel, bringing in his golden light and ruby red light. Perhaps you see his symbol, which is a golden pentacle. He brings in nature and peace and surrounds you with a connection of the fifth dimensional ascended earth, connection to all nature beings and animals, elementals, and all his teams and helpers of his tools of manifestation and help for your light work. Then we will call in the west, Archangel Gabriel and the element of water, bringing in his diamond light as a large waterfall that cleanses and clears all chakras in the energy field. We call in all of his diamond light teams and his tools, and we also call in the crystal mermaids of Atlantis in this west direction. High above your head, this waterfall of diamond light begins clearing and filling each one of your chakras with light, all the way to your earthly body, even clearing your clairaudience ear chakras and your ultimate 6D chakra from behind your head. In anchoring with this light, we anchor all these high dimensional chakras into our Earth Star chakra beneath our feet. Then we call on the east, Archangel Raphael and his emerald green light in the element of air. He brings with him his tools and his healing team, which includes Archangel Ariel and her light green light and light pink light. They bring all these beautiful lights in to promote healing on the earthly plane by bringing this light throughout the whole body, clearing our pineal gland, clearing anything that keeps us from seeing, knowing, feeling, and hearing, and connects us to our higher self and to our ascension timeline. Then we call in all other angels and highlight being helpers and teams and tools of the horizontal plane now and their gorgeous lights. We call in all spirit animals, elemental teams, starseed and galactical teams, spirit guides, ancestors, and all other teams and helpers to come in now. And then we call in the vertical plane of ethos or spirit, calling in Sandalphon below, bringing in that silvery diamond light, connection with the fifth dimensional ascended earth and Mother Gaia. Archangel Shekinah will join him there as well, opening to us to all that's open for us in this realm, including Gaia's gateway, the void and ascended middle earth. Then above we call in Archangel Metatron with his gold and orange light, bringing gold light from the great central sun with his sacred geometry and his ascension grid, anchoring that all the way down into the body and down into the heart. And then pulling up from Sandalphon's silvery light all the way up to the heart as well, and letting these two lights converge and go out into our entire energy field, clearing any problems, rips, tears, or holes in our auric field now, and clearing us in every way. Now we call in Archangel Raziel and his beautiful rainbow light that's warm and relaxing and healing. And we're going to bring this rainbow light to warm and relax our bodies, starting at the tip of our toes, warming and relaxing our feet and ankles, bringing that warm rainbow light up the calves, into the knees, up the thighs, and into the pelvis, warming and relaxing into the hip joints, the lower back, the upper back and shoulders, the torso, the chest, collarbones, back up to the neck and down the shoulders, down the arms, elbows, wrists, fingers, and fingertips. We bring the rainbow light up to our ears, to the back of our neck, up the back of the scalp, all around the forehead, relaxing and warming the eyes and eye sockets, clearing, relaxing, warming the sinuses, the nose, mouth, and jaw, the front of the neck. And now we are fully immersed in this warm rainbow light. Now you find yourself in front of a golden elevator, which is a portal of sorts. And you're feeling how safe it is to take this ethereal golden elevator to where you'd like to go in this meditation. So you press the button for down and the elevator opens. You notice it's rather large and it feels very safe and high vibration. So you step into the elevator and you choose the button that's lit up and it says Avalon. As the door begins to shut, I'm going to count from 5 to 1, and as I do, the elevator will begin to move softly to the ground floor where the portal of Avalon awaits you. And as you go down the elevator, you will feel more relaxed and ready to receive the information in this meditation. 5, the elevator doors shut and you feel relaxed and happy, knowing your destination awaits you. 4, as the elevator descends, you feel lighter and lighter, all the worries having melted away, and a sense of calm anticipation is within you. 3, you are so relaxed and you know the soothing sounds you hear will only relax you more now. 2, this feeling of relaxation is so profound that you realize that you should experience it in your everyday life even more. And 1, though your elevator has reached its destination, the door has not opened yet. You're feeling a mixture of anticipation, calm, and peacefulness, an insight that your life could use a little more fun. And so you resolve to have a little fun with this meditation as the doors open to reveal a portal in front of you. As you step out of the elevator and in front of it, I want you to figure out what kind of portal this is. It could be a water portal, in which case you could touch it and see the water ripple out from where your fingertip has made a wave. Perhaps it's an air portal that you could fly through. Perhaps it's an earth portal like the ones the fairies use and the elementals. Perhaps it's a wormhole, a galactic portal that you've used in many lifetimes before. Whatever it is, it's perfectly safe and you may step through it now, and the portal will take you to the shores of Avalon, sand, and you should emerge on the beaches of Avalon. Take note if you need to clothe yourself in your robes once again for entering the Temple of Avalon, the Temple of Isis. And as you walk up the sand dunes, you see at the top there is a druid or priestess waiting for you. This priestess or druid is ready now to teach you how to build a high protective psychic barrier for yourself and in the coming months of ascension. So right here in the open on the dunes of this beautiful beach, this being begins to construct for you a beautiful light structure of light. It's a beautiful light barrier made of many geometric shapes. And its color may be gold or it may be many colors. And as this being moves around you, constructing this beautiful protective barrier, they also imbue you with the light codes to keep it going and to know exactly what it is and how to use it from now on. It feels familiar because you've used it before. And now that it's done, it's time to go to the Temple of Isis. And so you begin to walk together, a walk that you have done together many times before, and so it may seem familiar as the temple comes into view ahead. You feel joy at seeing it again. It may have been some time, and you and your friend have much to discuss. Perhaps it feels like old times. As you walk into the temple, and you walk into the main room, you see the druids. They are in the middle of a ritual already, and so you're able to observe whatever they may be doing. It may also seem familiar because you've seen it before. Take note of the way it feels. Take note of any intrinsic knowledge that you feel you have of what is going on right now. And just observe. Is what they are doing something that affects Avalon directly? Or is it something that they are building for another time? Is it something for themselves or others? How does the vibration feel in this room? Is it a high vibration? Maybe it feels almost electric in here. And what about joy? Are they enjoying their work? And do you hear anything? Sounds, clicking, walking, maybe sound healing, chanting? And now the scene will change as it fades away and a new scene will come in. And now you observe the priestesses and their work. You observe some of their ancient rituals here in this temple and you can watch. Maybe you once participated, and so they could ask you to step forward and join them. What is the purpose of this ritual, and what is the emotion that comes from it? Our Lady is there. Do you see her? Perhaps she turns to you at this moment to give you a word, a message, or a gift. Now it's time. It's time to pick the highest timeline for this earthly life that you are living, for you to achieve the goals that are most important. Not the goals you think are the most important, but the ones that are truly most important for this timeline, for we don't often see as well as our friends who are light beings do, so they will show us now. The druids, the priestesses, and Our Lady. Some of them, or one of them, steps forward to show you a room that is off to one side. This is where they hold the Akashic records in this temple. They will bring a book off the shelf that has your Akashic records. Then, as they put the book on the podium, you may see instead some symbols or geometry coming up from the book into the air, symbolizing many timelines. You can touch any timeline that you wish to get a sense of it. You don't want too much information, but maybe a summary or a feeling. Touch each one in turn until you know which one will bring you the most joy. Notice there may be many to choose from that are very high joy. One might even be frightening how joyous and how open it feels. Are you brave enough to pick this highest timeline? You have so many helpers around you to help you, and we encourage you to pick this highest timeline. You will not be mistaken or wrong in any timeline that you choose, so you should choose the one that feels best for you. Just touch it and intend. Then you may put your book back up on the shelf and turn back into the main room of the temple. And now the ritual will be for you as you stand in the middle of all the druids, the priestesses, and Our Lady as they walk all around you. sending you light codes and maybe something else. You may see it in a new way as they bless you on this timeline that you've chosen. As they give you gifts such as knowing you are not alone, gifts of loving yourself, gifts of understanding what's important in this life, gifts of staying in your high dimensional heart space and your sixth dimensional knowing, gifts of staying grounded at all times and yet staying connected to your higher self and more. Can you feel the love of your friends here? Can you feel the purpose of your life now and what's important? It's now time to go, but know that you will revisit this realm often and you may come here anytime in your dreams. You are always here in between lives. And whenever you wish to be, you can come here with just a thought or a simple meditation or in your dreams. So thank everyone and begin to walk out the temple. As you walk out the door, you see your portal there waiting for you already. So say goodbye and go through your portal. As you go through the portal, you're still feeling safe, connected, and you're still breathing deeply. But since it's time to emerge, I'm going to count from 1 to 3, so that by the time I reach 3, you'll be fully awake, and you'll remember everything that's happened in this meditation. And you'll awaken to more insight as time goes on. You will feel even more connected to Avalon and your guides there and your friends there. 1, time to come back into your body and back into the room. You're feeling very much at peace now and willing to make fun a priority in your life. 2, now that you've had this beautiful meditation experience, you're feeling all the energy coming back into your limbs and you may begin to move your fingers and your toes. And 3, now that you have your energy back into your body, your soul feels clear and light. But let's take this moment to connect again to Gaia and the 5th dimensional earth grid, anchoring you into new earth and grounding you by imagining roots of light coming out from your feet and going deep, deep into that 5th dimensional grid. And when you're ready, welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I love going to Avalon, and like I was saying in the meditation, you can go back anytime you want. I believe that we go back there in between lives for any kind of updates, kind of like getting your computer upgraded. Was this your favorite meditation, Pam? Pam's in my tag group. And I believe that when we go back, we get our upgrades. Well, we also get upgrades here. If you've ever downloaded like some big thing, knock you out for a few days.
Thank you so much. That was very beautiful. I saw so many things.
I want to hear. Tell us.
Well, for starters, like when you said that, we should dress ourselves for the temple, and there was this guide, this druid guide, like waiting for us on the sand, and he just had like a big cloak, or they had like a big cloak, and when it was time, they just like took off their cloak and they gave it to me, but they didn't really take them off. it was just like the gesture of giving
Uh-huh.
me one of the same.
Oh,
And
that's
then
neat.
once I put it on, it's like sort of like invisible, but not invisible, but just like my whole body is covered and it's like protected. And then also when you said about, I mean, afterwards when they were doing like the work on us after like consulting the Akashic records and all, that work was very interesting because like the shield they gave me was very like how do you say, geometric and golden, and that's what I remember right now, that structure for protection. So it's like that's already two items, like the cape and then the structure for protection. And then also as I was leaving, it was really nice because like all the priestesses there or the beings there were like walking behind me, like in a sort of like triangle, and they were like if they were walking behind me, like two persons hugging me like this, and then the rest of them were behind, like hugging them, and like everybody was having contact with each other, so that they were all sort of giving their energy, flowing through to me as I said goodbye, and they were like giving me gifts and roses and stuff. So it was really nice.
I love it.
I don't know if anybody else wants to share their experience.
Yeah, does anybody else want to talk about it? Just unmute yourself.
You can up your hand or ask, or unmute yourself.
I'll tell you one thing that happened to me.
Yeah, please.
I haven't done this meditation for a while. And so when they opened the book, there were all these timelines. And of course, I'm also, doing the meditation. And I didn't feel like I picked the highest one. It was really scary, the highest one. So when we came back and they were, all around me, then they were like, "Are you sure you don't want that highest timeline?" And I was like, "Okay." So then we went back and we opened it up, and it was like, here are all the timelines. And this one was like this electric silver one. And they were like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "I'm so nervous to pick this one." And they were like, I was like, "Will it be for the greatest good?" And they were like, "Yes." And I was like, "And it'll be the greatest good for my family?" And they were like, "Yes. It will help your family." And they were like, "If you're ready." And so I was like, "Okay." So then I picked that one. And then when I came back, they were all like, "Yeah." And then when I was leaving, they were like cheering. They were like throwing flowers at me, like when you leave a wedding. And I was like, "Okay, I guess I'm in for it now. I picked it."
Yeah, it certainly did feel like a very cheerful team.
Yeah. Anybody else want to share? I'd love to hear. Well, if anybody wants to send me a message later and tell me, I'd love to hear it. If you don't want to share with everyone. Are there any questions? Is there anybody in the group this early? I'm sure we'll get lots of replay if anybody wants to.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there are any questions.
Yeah.
I don't see any questions right now, but I'm also saying that for the replay, if there are any questions, we can maybe take them later on.
Yeah, I will. That's what I was going to
Yeah,
say for the replay.
Through the text. And of course, we can always reach out to you. And I'm going to be posting a separate post with all your contacts, your email, your website, and everything.
Oh, thank you.
And the Amazon link for your beautiful deck, because oh my God.
Yeah, let's put it in the chat right now.
It is very beautiful.
Thank you.
Who helped you doing these graphics?
So my artist, her name is Shannon Oliver.
Okay, so just one person did all?
Yes, and she's an anime artist.
Oh, okay.
And I just felt so called to have her do it, and then it's so interesting how it went, like her making them and how it's like at first it was so hard. I was like having to tell her all the details and everything, and then after a few we've really gotten this rhythm, and sometimes she would come back with something that wasn't exactly what I said but better. And I just felt like we were really in the flow of bringing forth these fae, and I just love this deck because
that is really, so great.
I really wanted a deck that's do you guys remember when Doreen Virtue was awesome? And my favorite deck is Mermaids and Dolphins. And her stuff is still awesome, even if she doesn't believe it anymore. But what I love about that deck is you can ask any question and get any answer. And so, that's what I wanted. I wanted, like, you ask any question and you can use the answer. It's easy to apply it, And so in the booklet, I teach you how to use oracle cards if you don't know how to use the deck. And there's an attunement card to help you attune to it. And you can even, go on my website and get the Liquid Reiki Sound Healing Attunement to help even more. And then it's also good for advanced practitioners, because everything I do, I like it for advanced too. And then you can use it to bring these beings forward if you channel. So there's my plug for my cards.
Beautiful.
I love them.
Yes, I love it. Thank you for the ad, because I really didn't know, or I couldn't remember that you have this deck. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, seriously, thank you.
You're welcome. And I also have a free bundle if anybody wants it on my website. And I think it does contain this meditation as well. It's at, you can find it right on my site. It's a free spirit guide bundle. And it has a class that teaches you about who all your spirit guides are and how to connect to them. It has a few blog post links, because I have a big blog. And then it also has like a unicorn attunement. It has, I believe, this meditation, how to meet your joy guide, like a joy guide meditation, all kinds of meditations and things in there.
Beautiful.
It's a whole bunch of stuff.
So before we close the session, is there any messages you want to give us that are coming strongly to you, or that, you received right now or recently?
So recently, it was still a question. Are we still there? Where are we? And I was actually in a session with Pam yesterday, who's here, that they're saying, that we're still there. We're always there. And, I was talking to some crystal mermaids this morning. So like I was telling you guys, there's 8 crystal mermaids. And there's one that I know was a crystal mermaid. And I believe that there is another who might be listening to this at some point, because they were just like, make sure you mention us, talk about us. And if you want to, you can, the video in Tag every month I do, every month there's a program. There's 6 new ones a year, or we deep dive into one we've already done. And so it contains a masterclass where I trance channel. There's a meditation like this one for healing and gifts and messages. And then we have an attunement where we attune certain concepts and beings so we can channel them and their healing. And then there's a short little manifestation sigil. And then we have like weekly lives, like tons of them. But the masterclass I usually put on YouTube for the past few years. So you can find that in my blog. You can just search Crystal Mermaids and you can find that. And you can also, I don't know if the Avalon is on there. It might have been before. It might be in Tag. But a lot of these masterclasses, I upload them to YouTube so you can watch them.
So I want to ask your crystal mermaids, because I have never heard about crystal mermaids. Where are they from, or where do they live?
Okay, let me just let the cat in. Oh, it's raining. Well, come on. She always has to be like on the video somewhere.
Yeah. So do my cats and my baby.
Okay, crystal mermaids. So they live. Okay, so the crystal mermaids, they have like a whole thing. There's like a ritual that they do. It is connected to the Avalon Temple. They watch over the Atlantis crystals, including like the big one, the amethyst skull crystal. I also did a month on crystal skulls and crystal divas, which I know that masterclass is on my YouTube channel, Sound Waves Heal. They told me they live in several places at once. So they said it's too hard to explain in the 3D, but they're in Hollow Earth. And in this month that we did this Druids and Priestesses, we did do a attunement to connect to this portal that gets you there through Gaia's Gateway, which is kind of like a portal there. This is kind of the stuff we do in Tech. And so they said they can be there. They're in the water, they're in Avalon, they're in many, many places at once. But they do have these beautiful rituals with the crystals that they guard. because these crystals hold all the Atlantis information and lots of esoteric information on Earth, so they guard over them. It's pretty cool. Oh my gosh, kitty. Sorry.
That's okay. Okay. Hey, hello. I see your tail. So, okay, so I want to ask again if there is any special messages that these mermaids want to give us today, like
Okay,
right
let me
now.
see. So here's one I haven't talked to before. Her name is Oriane. I don't think I've talked to her. I don't remember her name. Oriane. The crystals that we watch and we protect and we keep safe contain much esoteric knowledge. But we also have plans to release all of this knowledge into the world. And there is one which is scheduled to be released into your world soon. And what this means is that you will have access as light keepers to download this information, and it will help you on your path to ascension and your path of where you are going in this beautiful human life that you are in. And so I wanted you to know that. But I can also give you a personal message for all that are listening. And it is a simple one. It is breathe. For don't you know that your breath holds so much for you? The deeper the breath, the more connected you are to your spiritual self, to your higher self. And any learning of deep breaths will open you more in this way. Take note of how many times in the day you aren't breathing fully. Where are you stifling your breath? And this is an indication of when you are stuck in the third dimensional density too much. And so when you can realize it and begin to take deeper breaths, and to practice taking deep breaths to expand your rib cage in whatever way that you can, so that the breath can be bigger at all times, you will find that your spiritual life will open so much more to you. It is that simple, this breath. And so I remind you to breathe and to breathe deeply and grow your spiritual life, which will grow your joy as well. Oh my gosh, my cat's so in the way. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. I was really longing for this connection. And I just want to say, like, throughout the meditation and throughout this little part, ever from the beginning, I was getting chills all the time. I was feeling the chills and I was like, oh, yeah, it was very beautiful. Thank you. I thank you so much.
You're welcome. If any of you feels really called to this meditation, you might be feeling really called to tag, because it's really like the indicator, this meditation. So if anyone's interested in any of that, you can always just do a discovery call with me on my website, and I'll be happy to
I love it
and talk to you about it.
I have a strong connection to mermaids, so this was very strong for me. Like okay, I'm going to visit them like right after this. Hello Earth, here we come.
There's so many kinds of mermaids too, just like fairies. There's so many kinds of fairies.
Yes.
There's so many kinds of elementals. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to make this deck, because each month we meet several new elementals in tag, and so I was always like, where's the cards for giants? Where's the cards for elves? Like, where are those cards? Yeah. So I tried to put them all in here.
I love it. I'm gonna get that.
Thank you. Sure. I'm glad you got chills, Kayla.
Anyone who's here, does anybody have any questions, anything to share? Anyone in Facebook has anything to share? Any questions before we leave? Talk now. or lose your chance.
Well, I'm happy to answer questions later, and you can
Mhm.
always send me a message at
Well,
Sound Waves Heal.
Hi, Megma.
Hi.
hi, um, hi, it's Rachel. Thank you for doing this amazing session. And yeah, talked about Avalon-Atlantis Isis. It's such like stirs a different kind of feelings. Like it kind of feel, what am I doing here in this world? Like, oh, when was the last time I was there? Kind of a feeling. Um, what I want to ask, and I'm not sure if this would be like super relevant to your session today, but I feel like my start of the spiritual path, my breaking out of the older matrix and being stuck in 9 to 5 job happened when I had this urge that I in an hour I decided to get a tattoo of a blue lotus. And since that day everything like shifted, and I truly believe that I was kind of placed into this path very gently and coaxed into this by Isis. So what are the like ways to start connecting to herself or receiving her messages?
Okay, well, I have a blog post about this, and it's in the Spirit Guide free bundle. But the biggest thing is to connect to your spirit guides and get messages. The first thing I would really recommend is that you make a map with your spirit guides, and that is that you decide on signs and what they mean. So, for instance, let's say you see a dove and you're like, oh, that always means peace to me. Then you've decided that it's kind of like you have a blackboard with your spirit guides where you can put like, and other beings as well. You can use this for protection as well, like boundaries with spirit too. But you can also do like, okay, so dove equals peace, butterfly equals transformation, or I see 111. I look it up, and whichever answer I get, or for me, I'm just like, 111 means you got it. Whatever you were just thinking of, that's it. Spirit guide's like, yay, you just hit the truth. So that's what I think. So now they do that to me all the time. Like if I'm like, I wonder if such and such, and they turn around, it's like 111. I'm like, oh, it is. These are all spirit signs, and if once you like build this, then they will use it. It's like, oh, well, Magma thinks that it's that the blades of wheat means prosperity, so we're going to show it to her in art. We're going to show it to her till she knows it's a sign. Like I'm going to give her chills when she sees it, and she's going to say, oh, prosperity's coming. I've seen it. I get chills. It's a sign from my spirit guide. So that's kind of one thing that they do.
Wow, that's really nice and a lighthearted like input or direction, because I like that kind of a thing where you can have this casual relationship with your spirit guides and develop a communication, which is beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I actually, one of my classes is that I teach trans-channel mediumship, and I teach it in 4 levels, but the first level teaches you 5 different ways to channel, including channeled healing, so channel healing, channel messages in different ways. And you meet 5 of your main spirit guides, and they help you all the time. It's like opening this communication with your spirit guides is huge. They helped me build my entire business. They just told me what to do next, and they still do. This is what you do. Do this, do that. I'm like, okay. Pick that highest timeline. So it's very helpful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's very helpful information for sure to like you say, to map it out so that and to just really feel into that communication, right? I mean, map it out is really feeling into that communication to see, okay, what does this mean? How can I relate this? What's the correlation? And, who is trying to reach me? What is the message they're trying to give me? It's just like really being really open and receptive, and not close yourself to just what you know and the things but just be more receptive to learn even more, get even more grace, even more light, even more guides, even more magic, because we are stepping into this era of this magical reality, this dream-like shamanic consciousness-like reality. That's what's gonna become the new normal, right?
Right? Our multidimensional selves. Yeah.
Okay, so that is the end of the session, is it? Do we have anything else?
That's it.
I just don't want to go.
Well, it's so nice.
So it's like, let's do another hour now. Thank you so much, Rachel, for this session. This is going to be up in the in the group for at least the whole week. And after that, if anyone asks for the replay, we can send it privately. And I will send you privately the recording so that you can also have it for your records and share it with your group. So thank you so much. And again, I'm going to be posting a separate post with all her information, so that if you want to contact her, get her beautiful deck, or is to get a one-on-one consultation, or check out her YouTube channel and everything. So we're going to post everything.
Thank you.
Very soon, okay? So thank you, Rachel.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. I hope this was a very magical session for you as well.
Thanks.
And thank you, everyone on the Facebook. Let me first stop
Nice to meet you,
this
Magma.
recording.